welcome to another episode of Wrestling with WorldWide Willis. And to this podcast and every episode from beginning of time is brought to you by the LMG Podcast Network. And today, we're going to break down a few matches, and we'll also break down some of the latest going on in the wrestling world. Let's talk about matches of the week. The best match of the week to me by far is Iyo Sky versus Bianca Belair. I watched it. I watched it originally live, and then I rewatched it today. And man, that was one of the best women's matches of the year. Io's and Bianca's chemistry is crazy. Like you don't really see that as much as far as especially in the women's division, just because they don't face each other as much. They kind of changed the matchup, so like the ladies don't get as great of a chemistry, or if they do have a great chemistry, they don't get that much time to show it off. And these two, I feel like they knew, like even going back to their backlash in Puerto Rico, they put on a classic match then. So I think everyone knew if given the time, these two could really put on a classic again, and they did that. Like some of the spots they were doing just from the beginning of the match, it was very like, oh, okay, we both are on even playing field. We're two of the best in the world, and we kind of know each other's game. Like they were telling a story throughout the match, and I just thought it was amazing. They have the reverses, the all of it was top tier. No botches. All of it super clean. All of it looked like two ballerinas out there doing their thing, and it was just two violent ballerinas out there doing their thing, and man, it was fun to watch. Like it was so many great spots. The Iyo jumping on the outside, that was a tough landing, but it looked good. You know what I mean? It wasn't one of those Bianca's just trying to take care of Iyo, so she kind of just catches her. So she just kind of catches her. No, like she took that like it was a hit. You know what I mean? It looked like it was meant to be violent. The suplex, Bianca suplex like picks up Iyo on a suplex and then walks up the stairs and then into the ring with Iyo in a suplex position. Like that was crazy, right? And then the 450 and to the knee, and then we get the fake out of the finisher for Bianca to a roll up win. Like I'm not like this match deserved. Sometimes like when they do a roll up pin at the end, it kind of feels cheap, right? We've done all this work to end up with a sneak roll up to win, but I think this match, like this was the time to do it, right? I feel like sometimes they do the roll up pin that's not I don't know. Sometimes it cheapens the match. This one I don't feel like it cheapened it. It made you feel like, oh dang, like I want to see that again. Like I want to see Iyo and Bianca again. You know what I'm saying? And I would love if they kind of took from the Andrade Mello series, like the rivalry and series they've been doing on SmackDown, and kind of do the same thing, but do it with these two. I know they're in a tag team bout with Kabuki Warriors, and Jade and Bianca for the tag titles. But like, I would love to see. You can still have a rivalry within a rivalry. You can still have Iyo and Bianca as the two best in the group, right? Iyo's the best wrestler. Both of these are some of the best wrestlers in the world. But out of the tag teams, they're the best tag team. They're the best wrestlers of their tag team. So it would be dope to see if we could break this off into an even deeper rivalry with those two, and they continue one on one to have some great matches. Like that would be really fun. And yeah, I'd love to see it again. The crowd was super into it. The crowd made it great in Oregon. Portland, Oregon. That's a really good wrestling crowd. I mean, dating back to the 70s, 60s, they've always been great as far as pro wrestling is concerned. Rowdy Pipers and like they had their own territory out there and stuff, so it was great. But I I just thought this was the best match of the week for real. Like it was no stunts, it was no gimmicks, it was no special special rules or anything. It was just straight up wrestling, and it was amazing. Like both of them did put on a show. So shout out to those ladies. Again, when they're doing the end of the year rankings of best women's matches in the year of 2024, this has to be on the list. Like it has to be. If I see a list that doesn't have this match on the list, I can't take it seriously. I can't take it seriously. Next we had Cody versus Solo in the steel cage match for the WWE Championship. I thought it was a really good match. Again, I thought the steel cage, some of the spots was really good. Um, the Some of the moves off the cage were dope. And then obviously we know the whole Roman aspect, him coming out there, taking standing up to the new bloodline. That was dope. Like that added a cool element to it. And that kind of started okay, Roman and Cody are going to team up to go up against this new juggernaut of a group. So that was really dope. Andrade and Mello, I mean, those dudes, I mean, that's like, you know what I mean? Like those two dudes are amazing. They fit, their styles fit each other perfectly. And this series they've been doing has been amazing. Like it feels like honestly watching them wrestle, I saw somebody tweet it. I don't know who it was, but I don't want to steal their credit, but steal their thing. But it just felt like you were watching a 2002 SmackDown with, you know, Eddie Guerrero and, you know, like Eddie and Ray or Eddie, you know what I'm saying? Where it was just a random, like where every show in that time period has some bangers as far as like mid carders who were amazing, who just, you know, got time to shine and got time to do their thing, especially in the early 2000s. We know with Paul Heyman kind of leading the show, there was a lot more wrestling on that show. Whereas on Raw at that time, it was a lot more dialogue, a lot more promos, a lot more, you know what I mean? Different stuff going on. And that's kind of the case now, but I think with Triple H, it's a little more balanced, which is nice. But Andrade and Mello, man, it just feels good to watch them wrestle, honestly. Like I can't describe it, but it just it's fun to watch those guys go up against each other. Because they're really putting on a great show. Just straight graps, putting on a great show. Now, this next one, Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman. This is a great rivalry. This is a great building of a rivalry that where you can add other elements. Where you like, obviously, we don't necessarily want to see Bronson Reed and Braun Strowman just straight up wrestle. All right, I'm fine with it. You know, me, big man, medium men slapping meat. I'm fine with that. But I know the common man doesn't want to necessarily see them technical wrestle. They want to see two big men beat each other up and cause irreparable damage. And that's what they gave us in this matchup. Like they gave us both of those guys were just going crazy. Like this latest match, as you remember the one before, like you know the tsunami onto the limo, like it was a bunch of craziness. This one took it up even higher. You know what I mean? Like, and it started from the jump. As soon as as soon as Braun Strowman came out there, Brunson tried to hit him with run into him and caused the top turnbuckle to break, then caused some more chaos. This dude, Bronson Reed, threw a random fan into Braun Strowman when he was doing like the circle around the ring and hit everybody. I thought that was brilliant. Whoever came up with that, I don't know if it was a producer, I don't know if it was Bronson Reed, I don't know, but that was brilliant. To me, that should be more of a thing. Like the fact that he was aware enough to go, man, you know what? This little dude next to me, let me go ahead and pick him up and throw him. You know what I mean? Like that's smart. Like that type of stuff is really smart to me. You don't see that often. That was a new wrinkle that I thought was really really dope. And yeah, the fact he just picked up a random fan and threw that. Obviously, we know it's not a random fan. That's somebody who's probably trained at the performance center or something. Who knows? But probably a local wrestler in the area. Who knows? But the fact that they did it and it felt like he threw a random fan was dope. But those two guys, man, they just caused crazy damage, and that's what we want to see. We want to see carnage. We want to see like two semis run into each other and see what happens at the end. And that's what they gave us. So I thought that was a really, really fun matchup. Hopefully we continue to see it. Honestly, I'd love to see I love if this was on the Bad Blood card. I would love that. Like I think that would be really good. I think WWE's done a great job lately of building rivalries so well that you could have almost a second Bad Blood card. Like you could have night one Bad Blood, with Bronson Reed, Braun Strowman, Andrade, Mello, um, you know, Sammy and Gunther. You could have, you know what I mean? There's a bunch of big time rivalries that are like really heated rivalries where you could be like, oh, okay, like you could do a whole separate night, not to mention the card they already had that we'll kind of talk about later. But I just thought doing a great job, man. They're doing a great job building rivalries to where we care week to week, especially with the new TV and all that stuff, new channels. Like it's fun to be able to go to a week to week show and get really good results. Especially with Raw being 2 hours now, SmackDown being three, it's really cool to see that. All right, let's talk about something that's going on lately. I first of all I want to shout out NXT. They're cooking over there. I always say that, but I thought they've done a great job of handling the TNA crossover stuff, not being too heavy handed, not just throwing the best of NXT versus the best of TNA immediately after out the gate, but like slowly teasing it, having Jordan Grace come out there every now and again, have a match every now and again. Um, having people like Joe Hendry pop up. We've had others pop up to go against Owafemi and like many different little small things they're doing that's great. And then sending some people over to TNA to give a little crossover and stuff. So I thought they've handled it. They've handled it with responsibility and with care that a lot of companies wouldn't have. Like I mean, no disrespect, but AEW would have threw everything at you. AEW would have they would have did one big card, a big crossover card, immediately once TNA started to slowly come over, and then they would have been over. We would have been like, oh, well, that didn't really satisfy our hopes and dreams for this, right? We had a whole hopes and dreams for how this crossover thing is going to go, and we just basically emptied it out in one pay-per-view rather than letting this thing kind of drag and using it as a tool to entertain people for a long period of time, not just one event. And I feel like Shawn Michaels and his team has like really handled it with care and done a great job of like building interest, not only building interest for NXT, but also at the same time giving TNA its flowers, showing TNA has a lot of talent over there, showing that TNA has a product that's worth watching. I don't necessarily watch it, but I'll be honest, now I'm more inclined to, right? Like I'm more inclined to go check out TNA. I was already sort of leaning that way when I found out about Joe Hendry, and I found out about some of the other guys they got on the roster. But now that I'm seeing them cross over, it's dope to see. You know what I'm saying? So I'm really excited about that. But shout out to NXT again. Like they've just handled that, and TNA. Shout out to TNA as well. They're a partner in this. They've just both handled it well, and it feels like it's building towards something. Kind of like Obafemi thing, where he's kind of having an open challenge to anybody for the North American Championship. I'm really hoping that we continue to bring out some TNA people to challenge Obafemi, and then maybe go for a big one. Moose or some of these other big names that are in TNA, have them go against Obafemi at their next pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like that'd be really cool. Um, also, what also levels up NXT, you got big time players showing up. We had the Bloodline pop up last week and just destroyed the Street Profits. I mean, and the Street Profits put on a great match against Nathan Frazier and Axiom. Put on a great tag team match. I thought for a sec there, the Street Profits were going to win the tag team championships in NXT, which has been a long time since they've been in NXT. So I think they haven't been in NXT in 5 years, but the fact that the Bloodline showed up, that was dope. Like they look like a legitimate killing squad. Like they pulled up and just destroyed them. I thought that was amazing. Obviously, Bloodline's great, but Jacob Fatu, I mean, come on, man. Like that dude's a superstar. That dude is like in the perfect role. Sometimes it's kind of like when Golden State got KD and they just said, KD, go out there. Hey man, don't think too much. Don't try to impress me. I just need you to score. That's all we care about, KD. Is just go out there. Your role is to put the ball in the basket. Simple as that. It feels like with the Bloodline, they're just like, hey, Jacob, Fatu, you have the simplest role in this company. Go out there and destroy people and have fun doing it. And that's all we care about. And he's doing it at a high level. My dude did a swanton bomb. Like my dude be just doing wild. Like, he just does all kind of whatever he's feeling in his head. He does because he's. I mean, honestly, the dude's so talented wrestling wise. He can do whatever. He can just walk out there and be like, "I'm gonna do a backflip," or "I'm gonna do, I'm gonna do a jump on the ropes, jump on the second rope, jump on the top rope, and then do like a spin around tsunami looking thing. You know what I mean? Twist in the wind type of deal. Like my boy can do anything. So it's just dope to see somebody like that. And it just feels like the bloodline has a weapon like the juggernaut. You know what I mean? And where Magneto would kind of unleash the juggernaut sometimes, it feels like Solo just unleashes Jacob Fatu on people, and the dude just wipes the like. There's just wreckage in his way left, because dude is just killing it. He's killing it, man, and that them showing up on NXT was just a great look. I thought that really leveled him up, just visibly. It just looked like three dudes who went out there and just destroyed everybody. Like it just added a level of respect to this version of the bloodline that wasn't always there, right? Like some of these dudes is catching jokes about, oh, they kind of lame, oh, they can't wrestle, oh, they're not as vicious as they try to make themselves out to be. But like this kind of put some respect on their name, which was dope. But them showing up was definitely a big deal. That was really cool. Now speaking of the bloodline, we know Bad Blood's coming up. And like I talked about with Cody and Solo, they had a match. Obviously, Cody retained, but he was attacked by the Bloodline. Um, and obviously, in the numbers game, Cody's getting beat up, and then Roman shows up, levels the playing field. And later on that night, they kind of have a discussion, but they do agree that they want to tag team together to finish this version of the Bloodline. And Roman has a specific beef, obviously, with him being the tribal chief, the original tribal chief. And so we're going to get Roman and Cody team up against Solo and Jacob Fatu. This is probably going to be a really, really good match. I kind of expect it as such. And yeah, I just think this is going to be fun, man. Like I wouldn't have necessarily thought of Cody and Roman as tag team, but I do think it's a cool look. It's something we'll always remember. It'll be one of those posters 10 years down the line where we go, what? Them two tag team together? That's crazy. You know what I mean? It's a one-time only type of deal, and it'll be fun. And it delays. Sometimes you want to put your main champ in a tag team match to kind of, lessen the pressure on him to defend it every single pay-per-view in a singles match. Sometimes throw him in a tag match. Sometimes throw him in a 6-man tag. Sometimes switch it up a little bit. You know what I mean? As long as he's there and he's active in it and it feels important, not every time he doesn't need to defend it in a singles match all the time. But the good thing is Cody has defended it. So it's not like he's ducking competition or anything. But I am looking forward to that match. I think Roman's going to look dope. And I'm hoping they have some disagreements. I hope we get really dig into deep how Roman feels about Cody himself, how Roman has a specific duty of regaining the tribal chief, regaining that prestige, but also showing that he ain't here for a friendship with Cody. And I hope Cody, even though his promo was a little whack last week, but I'm hoping Cody can kind of let Roman know, like, hey, you are an enemy of my enemy, right? Like, you are helping me defeat this thing I'm trying to destroy in the long term, but I want to make it very clear we are not friends. We're not cool. This isn't some cool buddy team up type of deal. Like, we are only together in business for business reasons only. You know what I mean? I just hope he stands up for himself and not just, hey, Roman, you're back. You're the man. I'm just here to be a champ that fights every night, but that's it. I hope Cody really stands up for himself, and I hope Roman does too. And I hope just they do a good job of building the storyline because this isn't a type of match you can get off. You usually don't get two top guys on the same squad at this level. At this level of popularity in this era of wrestling, you just don't get it. I remember in rest, obviously the Attitude Era where you would get Stone Cold and The Rock teaming together, but you would get Stone Cold and Triple H teaming together. Like anytime you saw that, it was dope. Or Stone Cold, Rock, and Taker teaming together, like little stuff like that, you just don't get all the time. So you got to take advantage of it. As fans, you got to appreciate it, and the company has to take advantage of it and make it quality stuff, which is what they deserve. And then we got CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. Thought CM Punk gave a really good promo, just talking about how he's willing to go to the end of the earth to win this match, to end Drew McIntyre. Like he's basically saying, like, "Hey, I've had my run. Like I'm walking in that thing, kind of like UFC fighters say they walk into the octagon ready to die, like willing to die to win." I think CM Punk is basically saying, like, I'm willing to walk into this Hell in a Cell and this be it, right? As long as I come out with the victory, like we're ready and willing to end it all to beat Drew McIntyre, and I'm really excited to see how Drew responds. But yeah, that should be Hell in a Cell is like the perfect. This Bad Blood is honestly their pay per view. It's Drew and CM Punk's pay per view. Now, some people were saying CM Punk and Drew should main event Bad Blood. You know, it's funny to me. It's still hilarious to me how wrestling fans are dumb, like are really stupid. They're pretty stupid. I I never will understand the lack of understanding of the wrestling business, the lack of awareness when it comes to understanding why we're here, understanding the moneymakers in the room, and understanding who is it. Now, we all know CM Punk's a draw. We all know Drew is becoming a draw, right? Their rivalry is the best rivalry of the year. We know that. We know that. But if you're dumb enough to think that they are going to have a wrestling event and Roman Reigns and or Cody Rhodes will not be in the main event, specifically Roman Reigns, like you're smoking. Like you're smoking the highest level of crack. Like I'll never understand it. These are the people that said Sami Zayn should have beat Roman. These are the people that said Jey Uso should have beat Roman Reigns for the championship during his run. Like just not like going off of emotions rather than thinking like a businessman. A businessman understands I this pay-per-view is literally it's literally promoted by Metro Boomin because it's in Atlanta and Cody Rhodes. It's literally promoted off the back of Roman Reigns. Like, what are we? I just don't understand the confusion, I guess. Like, to me, it's business. It's very clear who should main event. Yeah, sure. If I'm thinking of who has the true, which rivalry truly exemplifies bad blood, yeah, it's CM Punk and Drew. But I also understand how money works. And I understand that Roman Reigns is on the card. That's literally all that needs to be said. Roman Reigns is on the card. He will main event. That's just the way it goes. I just don't see I just see on the internet there's confusion there, and it's just like people are gonna be like when Bad Blood happens, and CM Punk and Drew are not the main event. People are gonna be like shocked and just be like I don't know what world you live in. I really don't. I truly don't. But yeah, that's that. Oh, let's talk about the New Day drama. I thought the New Day stuff. I was interested with Odyssey Jones obviously being removed from the roster. I was interested if they were going to continue the storyline, but I thought honestly now it's almost even better that Odyssey Jones is there. I thought Odyssey fumbled the bag tremendously. I thought the New Day would have helped him get put on, and they were already helping him get put on. But now we can just focus on Kofi and we can just focus on the New Day. We can just focus on the existing members and just really dig into this, how Big E is causing his departure and his unfortunate health issues are causing a deep rooted issue between the two of them. And really diving into this thing. We really haven't had a chance to. So I think, man, this is New Day could potentially have one of the better rivalries of the year if they do this really well. If they do it to where, you know, there's a heel turn somehow, there's a, just because it's very logical, right? Kofi Kingston's leaving his boy out of the plans, always adding people in, always making moves without including his boy. Like that just, that's not how the New Day works. And so I'm really excited to see how that rivalry continues. Like this is what I was talking about as far as like Triple H has brought a level of interest to a week to week show that Vince McMahon never did, right? Like he's brought interest to the show to where I now want to see next week on Raw what they do with the New Day, what they do with CM Punk and Drew. I want to see what they do with Judgment Day. I want to see what they do with all these other people, Brunson Reed and Strowman. Like how they're gonna how they're gonna do bigger. Bianca and Iyo. What's going? Are we gonna get another match, or how are they gonna work? Week to week stuff, right? That I thought he's just enhanced all the way. And so let's talk about Judgment Day. Looks like we got Rhea Ripley versus Liv announced for the women's championship at Bad Blood. Also, we have Finn Balor versus Damian Priest. That should be a pretty good one. I'm really hoping Damian and Finn take advantage of this moment and I hope they get time to really wrestle, but I hope they take advantage of this moment. You know what I mean? Both have kind of not teetered, but like, they haven't gotten necessarily singles match opportunities like that. Now, Damian obviously has more lately, but ever since he's lost, not as much, not against like top tier competition. And Finn, same way. So they haven't been seen in that main event light yet, or at least since Damian lost. And so I'm really excited to see them too. Hopefully they put on a banger to where they can then go off their own way and do their thing separately, hopefully. And then lastly, we'll talk about Gunther and Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn tried to use Ludwig Kaiser against Gunther. Obviously, Ludwig is a loyal friend as he should be and jumped Sammy. Now, he did pay for doing a little extra, but that's okay. That's all right. Gunther's all right with that. But it's just funny. I still think it's silly that Sammy is. I think it's silly, first of all, that Sammy beat Gunther at WrestleMania. I think it's silly that Sammy, who lost his IC title, was now like, you know what? I deserve a title shot at the world champ. You know what I mean? It just doesn't make sense. But either way, I am glad that Gunther is denying this man an opportunity. It's showing that Gunther believes it's levels to this thing. You don't just wake up and get to have a title shot. Like that's not how this goes, right? You haven't went through anybody, you haven't done much to earn a title shot. So I'm hoping he continues to deny him and then eventually accepts it and beats the dog out of him. Just wipes the floor with Sammy to where he can't even come back and say, well, it was a close match. I came back. Blah, blah, blah. No, I hope he does what he did to him at WrestleMania, but finishes the job, essentially. But yeah, there's a lot of great things going on. I'm really excited for Bad Blood. Looks like it's going to be a very good pay-per-view. And yeah, I'm really excited for what we got going on. And even the stuff that's not even going to be on Bad Blood, just the week-to-week television. Obviously, we got the changes in the shows and the time frames and the channels and things of that nature, which you guys can all look up. But yeah, hit me up. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you're thinking on the latest product of WWE. And yeah, let me know if you disagree or agree. And also let me know. We'll be doing a review of Bad Blood, so definitely let us know your feedback on that. But until next time, we out. Yeah.